Good afternoon. Today I'm going to talk to you about differentiating instruction. I remember when I started teaching back in 2005 and I had no clue about differentiating instruction, but I had my stations set up and I had the routine going. I had good classroom management, but all of the students were doing the exact same thing. And I there was no variety. All the students did the exact same thing. I had all the groups um were the same. The students were not grouped off by abilities. I just put them in groups. I had the routines going, like I said, and they would rotate. I would have my station set up. I had a puzzle station set up. I may have had the sight word station set up. I had the letter recognition station set up. And like I said, everybody did the same thing. My high students, they were doing lower level activities. I just had no clue. But as I grew and I learned, and it came with experience, a lot of things we don't learn in the classroom in college. We learn from experience. Once you get into that classroom with the students, that's where your learning comes from. And so as I began to teach and just learning my students, I began to see that those students needed more than what they were getting from those stations. I saw that my higher students, they needed fluency passages. So then I began to put passages in those stations and I began to group them based on their abilities. And I saw the progress that they were making. Those high students, they needed to be able to get in those stations. And once they start reading those passages, they needed to be able to write about them. Those my lower students, they needed letter recognition. They needed to be able to put those alphabets with the sounds. They needed sounds. They needed high frequency words. They needed sight words. And so once I learned my students, I learned how to group them. I learned how to give them activities to go along. And I had no problem with classroom management, so it helped. And again, the flow of the stations, they went smoothly because I believed in structure, I believed in routine. So all of that was not a problem. But once I learned my students, I learned their learning styles, I began to do more research, I began to find activities that went with the lessons. And again, it just came from experience. And now it's just like, I mean, anybody can tell you they come in my classroom, it's like a well run oil machine because I've been doing it now for 16 years and I love it. And I like to see them learning. I love to see them their little minds working. I love to see when their light bulb goes off. And so I'll tell anybody, get to know your students, learn their learning styles, always research and find activities to go along with your lessons and activities that interest your students, and you're going to see the progress. Continue to monitor them, continue to have your group where you can get with them and do some one-on-one and give them immediate feedback, and you're going to see student success. Thank you.